Every human life eventually encounters the same realization. We are temporary. To manage the terror of that fact, we developed a drive to make our names outlast our physical bodies. In ancient Greece, this was kleos. It was the pursuit of glory, a trade where heroes gave up the chance for a long life in exchange for a permanent place in the tradition of song. That same impulse persists today. We see it in the way the wealthiest Amormes carve their names into the architecture of the city, attempting to anchor their identity in stone. For thousands of years, the human story has been shaped by this biological campaign to ensure we are never forgotten. In 2012, the European Commission proposed a regulation that challenged this historical trajectory. It introduced the right to be forgotten, giving individuals the legal power to force search engines to permanently delete records of their past. We now see people spending years fighting tech companies, not to be remembered, but to disappear from the record. We have finally achieved the technology to store every name and deed forever, and we are using our legal systems to destroy the data. Our ancient desire for a name that outlasts the body has run into the modern reality of a world that refuses to let anyone go. The cultural anthropologist Ernest Becker looked at this behavior as a form of death denial. Becker argued we build immortality projects, symbolic mechanisms to shield us from our own mortality. We transfer our identity into things we believe are permanent: businesses, art, or children. We want to feel part of something eternal. This symbolic structure masks the reality that the physical self is always temporary. In this view, the pursuit of legacy is a psychological tool used to manage the anxiety of our biological limits. Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius argued that memory is a flawed vessel for immortality. Aurelius described memory as information passed between minds, like a candle flame. Eventually, the person remembers dies, and the flame burns out. Since memory depends entirely on the consciousness of living people, achieving true immortality through a name has always been a physical impossibility. The internet complicated this, moving us into what Zygmunt Bauman called liquid modernity, a state where change is the only permanence. The digital age removed historical gatekeepers, providing a global platform to anyone with a connection, regardless of status. But we lost the curated framework of kleos. Instead of being remembered for greatness, we are tracked through our mistakes, our awkward phases, and our mundane data. Our digital footprints are preserved in infinite rows of servers, far outlasting the fragile oral traditions of the past. This data has become a weight. The internet has removed our ability to naturally fade away, trapping us in our own histories. The internet granted the wish for eternal memory, but it turned that memory into a digital archive without a narrative. The right to be forgotten is an attempt to address this by enforcing a form of digital amnesia. This creates a friction between an individual's need for privacy and the public's right to an accurate historical record. For historians, this is a crisis. Redacting digital records removes the aggregate data points needed to understand how our society actually changes over time. While public figures can often afford to manage their data, private individuals remain vulnerable to the permanence of a single viral moment. We are still learning how to balance the human need to move past our mistakes with the societal need to record our history. We are rarely remembered as heroes in an epic story. More often, we are just data points stored on a corporate server. There may be a liberation in letting go of the immortality illusion. Accepting that being forgotten is inevitable is a sign of psychological maturity. Relinquishing the ego and embracing the quiet reality of being forgotten is perhaps the only way to escape the burden of memory.